Well, good morning. If it's morning where you are, it's morning here. It's 10:21 in the morning. I don't know what it is where you are. Some of my friends, it's the afternoon already. Some of them, it's the nighttime already. Hey, what can I say? I have people listening to this from all over the world. Now, first things. Trump is now threatening Indianapolis with the Insurrection Act and to send federal troops to Indianapolis. We're closer to, I'm not sure if there will actually be civil war or people will just bend over and kiss his ass, but we're getting very, very close to a very horrible situation. And I'm not sure that's the real horrible situation. I think there's a lot of things going on in the background because Trump's biggest asset to the Republican Party is that he's a distraction to what the assholes are actually doing. So I would look around to see what's really going on. I know, I think the end result for Trump is martial law and totalitarian control. But, I don't trust that man with anything. All right? Facebook is trying to subpoena your subscription information based upon the reason as being the posts about Epstein and other issues involving the president, because Zuckerberg is a big Trump fan because he's got money, and he's trying to keep his wife from being deported. So, what can I tell you there, folks? You know what I mean? I already talked about the Insurrection Act, which covered one of my other topics, how close we are to martial law in Minnesota, and quite possibly the whole country. He's also put a 25% tariff on chips with a caveat. The caveat is if they're necessary for America's defense, which is basically the high-end stuff that Nvidia and everybody else makes. Okay, and the supplies to make those chips, they're exempt. But if you need something like a chip or something, it's going to cost you a fortune, folks. All right, this is just what they're going to do. They're going to make it hard for you to get on the internet, and the same capability. They're going to make it hard for the upper echelon computer people to be able to get on the internet. They're going to repair their computers. It's not going to happen overnight that this is going to affect them, but you never know. The two new chips that are coming out from Nvidia, everybody wants to get their hands on it, but they're going to be very, very expensive, and I don't know whether they can do that or not. So we'll have to wait and see what goes on. You know what I'm saying? But that's life. Okay. That's my whole list of things to talk about. I did that in 5 minutes. Damn, I'm good, Now I got to do what all these other news anchors and sportscasters have to do. I have to fill 12 minutes or so with bullshit, Okay, what can I talk about? All right, Lucy's health is back to normal. She's a pain in the ass. My carving's been somewhat suspended. I broke a saw. I broke it a while ago, but I've been doing stuff where I don't need a saw. But now I'm beginning to want to do some bigger stuff and I need a saw. And mine was what they call a scroll saw, an electric scroll saw. It was good use for cutting the rough pattern out of a block of wood. To get somebody to do that cost me money. Now, and they're not really capable of doing it because the wood I use is like a little less than medium-sized, what would be medium-sized lumber, So nobody wants to cut pieces like that. It's too small for the machines, the commercial machines that people have, And I don't know anybody that's got a small, the same thing I have. That's the problem. I can't get it fixed because I can't nobody will repair it. Nearest place to repair it is Chile. They have parts are available. They're cheap. The part I need is $12. Maximum price $12, not counting shipping. All right, it depends where if I can get this freight forwarding thing down, if I can figure it out, I'll be all set, and then I can do that, and then they'll ship it from the United States to here. Otherwise, I can't get it because Dremel won't ship the part directly to me, and I'm willing to pay double whatever the prices are for it, but they're just not willing to do it. So that's Dremel. I don't know how much it would cost to ship it, probably very expensive because I think the best way to do it would have been DHL. But that's what I'm going to try and do now. I don't know. I'm hanging out watching looking at the screen while I'm talking to you people, trying to fill the void, because I got done right away. I can go back to talk about Trump and his idiocy. I am deeply concerned about what he's actually using all this crap that's going on to distract us from the really big thing that's going to happen, and I can't figure out what it is yet. He's backing off Iran. I just realized Iran has 3 times the oil production that Venezuela does, and that's why he wants to go invade it. Oh, man. You have roughly, I don't know, I'll use the figure that I had quite a few years ago when you hit peak oil production, which we're not at right now because of other things going on that we're using instead of oil. And the economics of automobiles, and people aren't really traveling much, especially with the way Trump is screwing with the country. People aren't going to be using a lot of oil or gasoline anymore because people aren't going to be traveling unless it's out of the country. Mexico and Canada are going to start seeing some people, I think. A lot of rich people already have homes in Mexico. You can tell that by looking at the freeway out of San Diego, headed towards Mexico on a Friday afternoon. Actually, it starts at 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon, I've been told. I don't know if I was out there then. I know I saw Friday's traffic out there. You can walk faster than you can drive at that time on a freeway. That's ridiculous. But that's, they all have homes in Mexico. I don't know how that works out tax-wise and everything. But it's probably cheaper to do that than it is to, the homes are not retirement homes. They're really designed for living now, and, then they'll come up here and they'll live in a cheap apartment or something up here, and then they'll go down there for the weekends and the vacations and everything, and eventually they'll live there. And there's a lot of private estates down there. They're well guarded by private security. It's a good business to be in down in Mexico, if you don't mind getting shot at every once in a while. But that's all, I don't know what Trump's up to. I've read articles that, based upon what he's doing, that it's going to be impossible in 2026 for Congress and whatnot to keep their promise of not screwing with Social Security because they're going to run out of money. He has no financing available for these hundreds of thousands of dollars that he's spending on these ICE agents. Oh, you want to see something that'll really wake you up? There is a poster that's being posted. I forgot what state it was. It might be a lot of states anyhow. But it was for ICE hiring, and it says "Protect the Homeland." Now that's just something that's something you would see in Germany in 1933, 33, 37, something like that. As Hitler was coming to power. Join the Reichsmark. Protect the homeland. Jesus Christ, people. When are you going to learn? And that's the thing. Nobody's learning anything. This is wrong all the way around, and the people that are being hired aren't properly trained. The, the, the new hires and whatnot, they're thugs. They're people that want the ability to go beat up on people because they don't like what they are. They want to beat up on black people, colored people, immigrants. You know, they're white people doing this because I think you have to be white to be hired by ICE now. Anyhow, so they're segregated. Um, I think the problem with these guys being untrained and everything, there are enough private militias around the United States that if they decide to go to war with them, there's not going to be any help for them because there's a lot of trained people out there that aren't in joining ICE or anything else like that. The police officers and whatnot that are trained in combat situations. I don't think the military is going to do what he wants them to do, but you never know. I'm not smart enough. I'm not a predictor. I'm not a prognosticator of what is coming. I just know that something's going on, and I can't put my finger on it yet. It's not the Epstein files, because why would he care if he's in the Epstein files? Maybe somebody else he's worried about. Maybe some of his friends he's worried about coming out being in the Epstein files. But why would he? You see me watching my hands trying to see which one's moving. Anyhow, oh God, I'm a sick puppy. Anyhow, we all went back to 2016. You all remember 2016, and it came out that he was heard on live on a open mic saying that I think it was something to the, if you have money, they'll let you grab him by the pussy, or if you're famous, they'll let you grab him by the pussy. Talking about women in general. I think he was referring to some models or something in I don't know if he was working in the Miss Universe contest or something. This is where he said it, but this is what he was saying, and this is what you look at this and you say, that makes a lot of sense. But for people to think that he's not in the Epstein files and they want to see it in print, he's in it, ladies and gentlemen. Screwing with teenage girls? Sure, why not? Because he could do it, because he had money. That's his philosophy. He can buy anything. He can buy you. He can buy me. He can buy anything. That's where he's at. And when people say no, he gets upset. And then you have the situation like I'm going to invade Greenland. I want Greenland. Why? Because I do. That's why. Because this little asshole over here, Stephen Miller, says I should go there. And the same reason with Venezuela. I want Venezuela because of the oil. But oil is like I think I started someplace in this conversation. Oil is not a unlimited supply of shit, okay? Oil is a finite supply. Eventually you're going to run out of it. You're going to suck the planet dry. And you're going to start doing fracking, which is going to cause the Earth's crust to start collapsing in certain areas of the world, okay? That's just the fact of life. You don't have to be a genius to understand that, okay? If you think I'm wrong, I hope you're young, I hope you're here in 20 years when things are really fucked up, if Trump stays in power that long, or the Republican Party stays in power that long. I think that if we know this already, and you've got, I'll use the figure, let's just say for argument's sake, that it's 30 years left of oil if we're at peak development, or whatever it is, peak consumption levels now, okay? He doesn't like wind. He won't give any more licenses for wind. And he's saying China doesn't have them. They're all crap. China's got, like, I forget the exact numbers, like 25% of its power comes off of wind. And another 25% comes off of, or 40% comes off of solar. Trump's stupid, China understands better than anybody what the world will look, what America will look like if it continues on its present course. You remember when they saw pictures of Beijing where people were wearing gas masks to go out because the air quality was so bad, because the pollution in China was so bad from the factories and everything else. They've managed to reduce it so that they to a roughly acceptable level. Not to, minus, I think, but, they're like a neutral level where that's concerned. And they don't have to worry. They can walk around Beijing without gas masks on now. Of course, that hurt one industry in China, gas masks. But they can sell them to us because we'll need them soon. You've seen pictures of the smog and the fog in San Francisco when it comes in. You can't even see you can't see the football game when it's at Candlestick Park. You're looking through, like, they have to use high-powered lenses to get cut through the fog. Well, that's what the whole country's going to look like if the way with Trump's going. More coal, more coal. Apparently, and I'm just becoming really aware of this, coal industry loves what they call the data centers that AI is rebuilding and whatnot, because their usage of power is amazing. They use tons of power, electricity and whatnot, and energy, and their coal is one of the things that's feeding it. And this is, Trump sees money. He doesn't see the pollution. He doesn't care. Trump knows he's not going to live forever. The people that should be caring about what's going on there are the young people in his party that are supporting him in his idea, or supporting Miller in his ideas. Unless Miller's got plans to join Musk on Mars or something like that. I don't know. Well, listen up. I've had enough of this bullshit today, okay? I have some things I want to take care of. I'll be around tomorrow. And guess what tomorrow is? It's my birthday. I will be 80 years old tomorrow. I hope. There's still 24 hours to go. You never know. But you have to, my life was that when I was growing up, I never expected to be 60. I got to 60. I said most of the males in my father's side of the family were dead at 61, so I said I got to 61 to do this. I made it. My brother was an exception on my mother's side of the family, but he thanked the government and Agent Orange because he got cancer, and that killed him at an early age in his 50s. His wife died. She was over 60, but she, same thing, because they both lived in Taiwan at the time. That's where, Taiwan. And they both traveled to Vietnam and everything, so that's, Agent Orange. My niece died very young, and I don't know what that was from. But her family dies rather... I don't know whether her family dies young or not. I don't know much about her family. Because I think they've got some very old relatives, and I think her mother might still be alive, my niece's mother. She'd be 80-something, but she's still alive. But this is, my mother's family. I've outlived most of I have a couple of years to go before I'll be the oldest ever, right? So I'm part of that generation. I just found out we're part of the oldest generation left, okay? The baby boomers. Baby boomers are turning 80. We're going to be the end of it soon, And we're the only ones that remember all the bullshit that went down in Korea from 1946 to right now. We're the only ones that can tell you what really happened there. Because if you're watching and you see what Trump is doing. He's going out taking history from the Smithsonian Institute documents and everything and changing them and altering so that some things that, were offensive or some things that make him look bad or his party look bad or his methods look bad or look similar to what's going on right now are being wiped out. So he's trying to change history, and they've been doing that for a long time. Republicans have been trying to change history since I can remember starting to think about that, which would be right around the time that Kennedy got assassinated. They didn't want history They don't want people to know history anymore. All right, listen, I'm out of here. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Comment if you dare. And I will talk to you tomorrow. I'll be a year older. Still be great looking, though. I'll still be really good looking. So anyhow, talk to you tomorrow.